Part of the signal that the president is sending is that the Department of Justice needs to get back on the job of protecting people, not polluters.
We know that communities of color are disproportionately impacted by the climate crisis and often feel the effects first. In the United States, a lot of these communities are concentrated in highly polluted areas. And, we know that President Biden has been in the White House before, wearing a very different hat. So I wonder, Mr. Zaidi, what makes this moment different? How will communities of color be advocated for in this space?
I think there are a lot of things that make this moment different. First, we've seen something really powerful happen all across the country. Young people organizing, folks coming together around the imperative to take action. Folks not willing to settle for words, but really calling for action that is as urgent as the science demands. We've also got a bunch of proof points now in the world. We know how to do the decarbonization in the transportation sector. We know that that's not just zero emission vehicles for the transportation that we need to do as individuals, but it's electrification of rail, it's better transit, it's building green transportation zones all across our urban infrastructure. And then the third is, the 2018 IPCC report from the United Nations, I think really centered us on the urgency, really helped us understand how profound the crisis is and how bold the action needs to be to meet the moment. You talked about communities of color and the impacts that they feel. It's not just the wildfires and the floods and the hurricanes, it's heat. It's so profound when you look at communities that had been redlined before that now are literally hotter because they are not as green, because there's more pavement, because we have been purposefully neglectful as a society for decades in terms of the public health and well-being of the folks who live there.
Part of the signal that the president is sending is that the Department of Justice needs to get back on the job of protecting people, not polluters. We have to start looking at overturning and redoing those rules to make sure that they are protective of the communities that have been left behind because they are most overburdened. So the Department of Justice is changing its name in the office that used to handle just environmental offices. And it's now going to be an environmental justice office as well. And we're going to make sure that enforcement that has been weakened is now strengthened. At Health and Human Services, there's also a new office that's being created to look at the intersect between climate change and health. That's going to be a really awesome opportunity for us to get much more serious about how we look at environmental justice. And we have an opportunity here also to create a new environmental justice task force at the White House level that is going to demand not just that everybody think about equity, but everybody has to have a high-level individual that is going to focus their time 100% on environmental justice issues in agencies across the United States government.